things people say is we don't have enough graphic novels, I don't have enough money personally to buy them. So, but you all have, so thank you very much for that. And I just want to thank and introduce this gentleman who needs no introduction, and thank you, Alan, for agreeing to come and support the library services and to do this. Thanks.
Yeah.
You're too kind. And I want to echo what Ruth just said. Thanks ever so much for coming along here and supporting the libraries and bringing all these books. That's fantastic. You know. Before I go any further, there's an important piece on the agenda. There's a young lady over here today from Australia. She's a roller derby queen. Her name is Wendy, and I believe she's known by the sobriquet of Smash and Stitch. Where are you, Wendy? Are you? Ah, there you are. Well, a very, very happy birthday, Wendy. And could all of us here just give Wendy a day to remember by, even if it's like when she's in her 80s or something and she's confused, that she can wake up and think, oh my God, I was once shouted at by a couple of hundred people in a big room. So on to three, happy birthday, Wendy. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Wendy! Thank you! Right, now, some of you people out there who are closer to my own age, which is to say, like, nearly dead, to all practical intents and purposes, but you might remember that the last time that I attended a comic-related event was 22 years ago, something like that. So obviously a lot of you will not remember that. But the reason I'm here today is not primarily to do with comics. Primarily it's to do with the libraries, because I am a huge supporter of the library system, perhaps less of a supporter of the comics industry, at least these days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, basically ramble pointlessly, I think is the correct expression, for about the next hour. I'm going to be talking about, I will be talking about writing, and I will be talking about writing comics. I shall also be talking first about reading, which is really, really important if you want to progress to actually writing. So when it gets to be about 7 o'clock, if I've gone into a fugue state and I'm just sort of staring into space and just reciting a list of adjectives or something that nobody understands, can somebody just give me a shout when it gets to 7 o'clock? And then we can throw this open and we'll do a question and answer session, and in which you can ask me pretty much anything you want. I mean, at your own risk, but anything you want. Okay, so let's take this back to the beginning, or at least for me, the beginning. I was born in, 1953. This was like back in the Cretaceous period. We had dinosaurs living next door to us. They were such nice people. And I remember that in the neighbourhood that I grew up in, it was the Boroughs in Northampton. Back in around 800 AD, King Alfred the Great had said that it was foremost amongst the shires. So like, that meant it was the capital. These days it is pretty much a red light district. So it has kind of gone downhill a bit. But I still prefer to think, I mean, King Alfred, you've kind of got to respect the guy. I mean, he's one of the only English monarchs who's called the Great. You know, so I say that, in my head at least, Northampton, and specifically the boroughs, the area that I was born in, that is still an alternate world capital of Great Britain. In the area, when I was growing up, illiteracy was a problem. It was something to be ashamed of, or at least back then, and my parents, who could read and write, were very concerned that I should learn at least the rudiments of reading and writing as early as possible. I think that that is still borne out by scientific research today that says that if you teach a child language skills early enough, then their future education is pretty much assured. That's the key to learning and understanding everything else. So, I wasn't reading fluently when I was 4. Didn't read a lot of Proust. Very little Dostoevsky, you know. Old Lob and his farmyard friends, on the other hand, I was well acquainted with. And when I was 5, I remember that the headmistress at the school actually pointed out that at the age of 5 you could join the library, which was brilliant, because I think we had about 4 or 5 books in our house. Most of these, and I'm not trying to get all Dickensian here or point sympathy, but most of these were ones that had been given to my dad by charitable institutions, who every Christmas would go around and hand out books to the poor families in the boroughs. One of them was a golden encyclopedia for boys, which, if it was the only book you got to read, you could sort of dip into it briefly, you know. But and I think there was a copy of The Carpetbaggers by Harold Robbins that always fell open at page 112 for older readers. And